Hey guys, how we doing today? It is hot as a mother today. I am melting. I'm sweating. I am sitting in a pool sweating. No, I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating. But it's really hot. And it's also Christmas Day. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't care about holidays. But I love today because it's so quiet. And I'm alone in this apartment. Everybody's with their family. I ain't got no family. Nah, I do, but I'm in Brazil. I just have this place to myself. And even though it's super hot, well, there's still noise from an airplane, but there's like not many cars on the road and quiet. There's no construction because normally during weekdays, there's bang, bang, bang upstairs. I hate it. Welcome to Latin America. Everybody's always building something or remodeling. Always, constantly. Okay, anyways. So I'm enjoying really what the holidays is all about today, which is peace. Peace. So peaceful. All right. So let's get into it. Let's not waste your time anymore with my rambling. Today we're going to talk about phrasal verbs. This is something that you guys love to listen to and hear about and learn about and get better at and know about. You guys are all concerned about the phrasal verbs. So I have a little like PSA, public service announcement. I have a little like message to you about phrasal verbs that I talked about briefly in another video, but I really want to hammer it home today. I want to hammer it in. I need you to understand this. I need you to understand this. Listen, you need to understand to make this video. I listened to 2 of my favorite podcasts. I listened to 2 hour-long episodes of them. I wrote down all the phrasal verbs that I didn't write down every single phrasal verb. I wrote down the phrasal verbs that I think that you guys might not know, some of you might not know, and would be good to teach on this channel to intermediate and advanced students. I didn't write down most of those phrasal verbs that you guys already know. These are like the basic phrasal verbs. And that's what you need to understand about phrasal verbs. You need to understand that a lot of the times, we're just using those basic phrasal verbs that you learn at a beginner level in English, right? You wake up in the morning, you get out of the car, stuff like this, right? You turn up the volume, basic stuff that most of you probably already know. And if you don't know, it's okay. You're in your process of learning it. But considering the fact that when I do polls and I ask you questions, you tell me that most of you understand most of what I say when I'm talking normally. So it makes me think that most of you guys have at least an intermediate level, if not advanced. So I think you guys already have a good foundation of your basic phrasal verbs. And yes, we use other phrasal verbs here and there once in a while that are not part of this basic group that you probably don't know if you're a beginner, right? Or at a lower level. But I listened to these podcasts and I wrote down all the phrasal verbs like that I heard. And I might have missed some, but I was listening for most of the time, like paying attention, and I only wrote down like five phrasal verbs from an hour of people talking. So I listened to people from the United States talking for like an hour, and I wrote down the phrasal verbs that I think you guys might not know, and I wrote down 5, okay? 5 for each podcast episode, for each hour of conversation. What does that tell me? That tells me, yes, there are some more advanced phrasal verbs that we use. Yes, there are, but there's not so many, okay? In an hour of fast, constant, back and forth dialogue, right? These guys are talking fast. They're like, they say something, the next guy says something, he doesn't even wait. There's not even a pause. They're talking like boom, 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 boom. It's like ping pong back and forth, super fast. In an hour of that, only 5 phrasal verbs that I wrote down that I thought you guys might not know. And you might even know some of them. So the conclusion of this is that y'all need to chill out. No, y'all need to relax. The point is that it's not as hard as you think. It's not as scary as you think. It's not as intimidating as you think. Of course, there's always going to be that phrasal verb that you're like, what? I haven't heard that one. But a lot of times it's obvious given the context. Like a lot of times you can figure out the meaning just based on the context. Or really the point of what I'm saying is that it's just not as often, it's not as frequent as you might think. We're not just constantly using all these difficult phrasal verbs all the time. It's not like that, okay? So it's not something that you really need to stress about. It is, if you had to write down, a list of the most difficult things about English, and then the most difficult things about Spanish, and the most difficult things about any other language, for example, Chinese, Mandarin, whatever, Russian. Yes, on the list of things that are hard about English and unique to English, you would write phrasal verbs. Yes, phrasal verbs is one of, because it's not something that you find in other languages. Correct me if I'm wrong, or at least most other languages. It's a kind of a weird thing, phrasal verbs. It seems like it's hard, yes, and it is one of the strange, hard things about English, but it's not as bad as you might think if you just really pay attention to how frequent it happens that you don't understand a phrasal verb, right? And you could think about that. You can watch something, you can listen to something, listen to me talk, whatever. One of my podcast episodes where I just tell you a story or whatever. And you can make a mental note of like how many times I use a phrasal verb that you don't know what it is, like you don't understand. Probably rarely. And you can even listen to a dialogue and it's like, it's not going to be constantly it's not going to be constant that you don't understand a phrasal verb. So, unless you're like a beginner in English or something. So I just wanted to reassure you guys that it's not something to stress about. And I will happily continue to make these phrasal verb videos where I teach you more of the more like advanced ones. If you want, if you like it, absolutely, I can do that. But just know that sometimes it's actually hard for me to find good common phrasal verbs that I think you guys might not know to teach you. I can do it. I can find them. Maybe not forever, but for now, I think they exist. I can still find more, but it's not an infinite thing. Like, eventually I'm going to run out because there's not that many. Okay. And I have to listen to a lot of podcast episodes to write down like 20 to teach you. I have to listen to like 4 hours of podcast. So yeah, so I just wanted to tell you guys that first. So now let's move on to actually teaching you these phrasal verbs. So, okay, so I was listening to the camp counselors podcast. By the way, they're not really camp counselors. Camp counselors are like when you're a kid and you go to summer camp you go to like camp for kids for the summer. It's a common thing in the United States. And you have camp counselors. So these like usually young adults whose job is basically running the camp and doing activities with the kids and taking care of the kids all summer and stuff like that. So this podcast is called Camp Counselors. It's pretend. They're pretending that they are camp counselors. The podcast is like camp themed, but it's not real. It's just like pretend for fun. So I listened to an episode of Camp Counselors, and it was like a Christmas themed episode because it was their most recent one. So they were talking to each other. The two people in the podcast are Jonathan and Zachariah. And one of them asked the other one, what Christmas song has been pissing you off? This is a great phrasal verb. It's a little vulgar. It's not something you would say probably to a child, or it's not something you would say to your grandmother, probably, maybe, depending on who your grandmother is, depending on how cool she is, basically. You might know the word piss as a vulgar alternative to pee. Instead of saying, I gotta go pee or I gotta pee, some people say, I gotta take a piss, which is the same thing, I gotta pee. But in the phrasal verb, to piss someone off, it means to annoy someone. So for example, they said, what Christmas song has been pissing you off? So what Christmas song has been annoying you or bothering you? So you could say like, oh, this is pissing me off. I say this sometimes. I do say this. I like to say this. I say, freaking pissing me off. Or you could say, I'm pissed. Now, this works in the United States. I think in Europe, like British English or Irish English or Scottish, I'm not sure, it means something else. I feel like it means like I'm drunk or something. I don't know. It has a different meaning. I'm not sure. But in the United States of America and probably Canada, not sure, maybe, you can say, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off, and it means like I'm mad or I'm annoyed, but like strongly and it's a bit vulgar, right? Piss is a bit of a vulgar word. So Yeah. So what's been pissing you off lately? What's been annoying you? All right. Next one. They said, I drove your car today and the Christmas radio came on. Okay, pretty obvious given the context, but I was driving the car and the radio came on. So it's just a way to say the radio turned on, or the whatever, the Christmas radio channel. In the United States, we have maybe 1 or 2 radio stations during Christmas time that play Christmas music. So when he says the Christmas radio came on, probably he was listening to the radio, and then one of the Christmas music radio stations came on. Like it started playing, or it turned on, or it whatever. He found it. So to come on is a way to say like it appeared, it started, whatever. So you can say, for example, I was watching TV and my favorite show came on. It came on, it's like it came on, like it makes sense. It's a phrasal verb that kind of makes sense if you break it down, if you think about it. So yeah, especially with technology, you could be listening to something, you could be watching something, and then something else can come on. All right. Number 3. Next one. They said, I keep seeing a recipe pop up. You probably know this one, but just to make sure you know this one, to pop up is like to appear. It could also literally mean to like pop, like popcorn, the corn when you put it on the stove or in the microwave and it pops. That could be a more literal meaning of pop up, but a lot of times we use pop up just to say like appear. I keep seeing a recipe pop up. So he's probably on Instagram or YouTube or wherever, Facebook, I don't know, and TikTok. He's probably on social media and he's seeing a recipe, like a viral or popular recipe or something, like pop up on his screen, like literally appear, like pop up on his feed, on his social media feed, like all the stuff that he's seeing. So to see something pop up is like to appear, especially common nowadays with the social media feed. But you could use it in different ways. Like when you use the toaster and you put your bread in the toaster, one of those toasters, you put it in the slits, and then you go like this and it goes down. And then when it's done, when the toaster's done, it pops up. The bread, it pops up. Next one is you brought it up. Okay, so to bring something up is to be the one who starts talking about something in a conversation. Okay, so for example, we're having a conversation, and then all of a sudden we get on the topic of politics, right? We start talking about politics, and maybe you say like, well, why are we talking about this? I don't want to talk about this anymore. And then the other person says, well, you brought it up. Like you started it. You started talking about it. You're the one who brought it up. So to bring something up is to, just to start talking about a particular topic. This one's very common and very, very, very good, very useful. It definitely will sound more like a native speaker if you use that one. Next one is, okay, so Zachariah was trying to describe this cake that he has seen. So he doesn't know what it's called. So he was saying, I like that cake that comes in a box and then you put powdered sugar in it and shake it up in the bag. And then he found out that it's like an Italian Christmas cake. I don't know. But the phrasal verb here is shake it up in the bag. There's a very popular Taylor Swift song, I think, called Shake It Up. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift at all, but she has a popular song like that. I think, or no, it's Shake It Off. That's what her song is. It's called Shake It Off. Shake It Off is like, it's like if somebody says something mean to you and you're like an insult and you just like shake it off. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. Whatever. But to shake it up is more literal. Like you take something and shake it up. So in this case, he said the cake comes in a box, like the batter, I guess. And then you put powdered sugar in it. Powdered sugar is sugar that's in the form of like a powder, and then you shake it up. You shake up the box. To shake something, to shake it up. A lot of times, like in this case with phrasal verbs, you could just say shake it, which is not a phrasal verb. You could just say shake it. You shake it. You shake the box. That is fine. That is totally correct. But native English speakers, we love to make things a phrasal verb when it doesn't even need to be. So we love to add, especially this word, but other words too. We love to add the word up to things. So instead of just saying shake it, we say shake it up. The up doesn't really change the meaning. It doesn't change the meaning at all, really. It just sounds a little bit more like a native speaker, just because that's how we say it a lot of times. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. We just like to add up to verbs, and it often doesn't change the meaning. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. It does, like when you say turn up the music. In that phrasal verb, up has a lot of meaning because you're literally turning it up. But sometimes we add up and it doesn't change anything. It's just shake it up. Like, it's just shake it, but shake it up. I don't know. We like the way it sounds or something. I don't know. It has a nice ring to it. Has a nice sound. Shake it up. Yeah, so that's what you need to know about that. So those were all the phrasal verbs I wrote down from an hour-long podcast episode of Camp Counselors that I thought you may or may not know and should know. Next one, volley for serve, which is the Micho brothers, Ryan and Aiden Micho. No, actually, I pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. It's not Micho. That's my Spanish brain wants to say it's Micho. It's actually Micho brothers, the Micho. I don't know why they call it Micho. They should just be Micho. Sounds way better in Spanish, but Micho, the Micho brothers. Anyways, they're not Latinos at all, so, but I don't know why their last name is Micho. Anyways, so the podcast, Volley for Serve, so I wrote down these ones. So they said, they were just on us to stay hydrated. Okay, so Aiden was saying how when they were kids, their parents were like really into drinking water and like they wanted to drink a lot of water and they told their kids like, you need to drink a lot of water. So he said they were just on us to stay hydrated. So the phrasal verb here is to be on someone to do something. So to be on someone, like literally in the most literal sense, is to physically be on top of someone. But in that case, we'd probably just say on top of something, to be specific. But to be on someone to do something, like they were on us to stay hydrated, it's saying that they were like kind of nagging them. What is nagging? Like keep telling someone, like, you got to do this, like, make sure you do this, you got to do it, come on, you got to stay hydrated, you got to drink more water, come on guys, drink more water. You could say they were on us to drink more water. They were on us to stay hydrated. This isn't one of those phrasal verbs that you're going to hear all the time, but we do say it and we do use it. So to be on someone, she was on me. He was on me to do blah, blah, blah. But it has to be clear in the context that they are on you to do something. You can't just say they were on me because it's not clear enough. Like, yeah, it's like saying they were trying to motivate me to do something, urging me, or like pressuring me to do something. Okay. Next one is if you just line everybody up. Okay. So with people, multiple people, you can use this phrasal verb to line people up, or to line everyone up, or to line up a group of people, or whatever. It's pretty self-explanatory. It just means to put people in a line. Or it doesn't have to be people. You can line up anything. So to line up people or things, like you can line up your tomatoes. If you have tomatoes, you can put your tomatoes in a line and you can line them up. So you can line up anything, really, as long as it's multiple things, of course, to make a line. You can't make a line with one thing. But yeah, it's just to line people or things up, to put it in a line, to put them in a line. Okay? So everybody line up is like, okay, everybody get in a line. Yeah, to line them up. All right, next one. In 3rd grade, a new teacher moved in. Okay, so Aiden was telling a story from their childhood. He was saying like how they had this one teacher and blah, blah, blah. And then a new teacher moved in. It's kind of just a way of saying like a new teacher came on the scene, like a new teacher showed up or started working there, or came into, or replaced the other teacher, or a new teacher came in, a new teacher moved in, probably in the context of taking the place of the other teacher, like replacing the other teacher. But often we use move in the context of like moving into a space, like a house, for living, like to live there. So you could say, oh yeah, we moved into our new house last week. We just moved into our new apartment. So that's often how you hear move in. But it could be, in this case, he just says it in a way of like the teacher moved into this teaching position, basically. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch there, but he made it work. Sometimes native speakers, we don't even really know if we're using the phrasal verb correctly, but it just kind of works. It just kind of works. We understand each other. So, but yeah, you guys probably know the verb to move, which in English, yeah, we just use the verb to move, which is the same verb like to move your body, is the same one that we use to move to a new city or country or house. We say to move. This was hard for me when I was learning, like, it's still hard for me sometimes, like Spanish, for example, where the verb for like moving your body is not the same as the verb for like moving to a new country or whatever. But it is in English. It is. So that is easier in English in this case. So usually move is like, yeah, in this context of moving to a new place, it's like to go live in a new place. So the phrasal verb to move in is often used to express like moving into a particular house or place. Like to move in is like to, you know, bring all your furniture and move in and go into a new house and start living there, basically, to move into a house, to a new house. Or you could say like, I asked my girlfriend to move in with me. I asked my girlfriend or my boyfriend to start living with me, basically, to move in with me. My boyfriend moved in with me. He started living with me. So to move in, it's like to start living in a place, in a house or apartment. Okay, next one. I'm a little worried because it's hot as a inferno today, and I'm worried my camera overheats usually at about 45 minutes, give or take. And right now we're at about 28 minutes, so I'm worried, but I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up at 40 minutes so it doesn't overheat. But I hope so. I hope this doesn't die on me. Okay, next one. At some point they will build up a tolerance. Okay. I feel like I've talked about this in another video, but just to reiterate, this is a very useful, important, good phrasal verb, to build up. And you could use it in various ways, but in this case, this is a very common way that we use it. Building up a tolerance. So if you use a drug of any kind, you know, even like alcohol or coffee or whatever, I don't know, the more you use it, the more you build up a tolerance. And so you get used to it, your body gets used to it, and then you either need more to have a similar effect as before. To reach the same effect, you need to have either more, or you're just able to have more without feeling bad because you have built up a tolerance. So yeah, building up a tolerance to something is just literally building or creating growing your tolerance, but we just like to say build up, to build something up. Yeah, but we use this in a lot of ways. I can't think of a lot of examples right now. You can search for it on the internet if you're curious, but this is a very common way that we use it is to build up a tolerance. Like that's the main way that people will express this thing where your tolerance increases. The main way that we express this is to say like, yeah, I built up a tolerance to something. And the final phrasal verb that I wrote down from the Volley for Serve Mitchell Brothers podcast is, so one of them said, are you in? Are you in? You might have heard this, I'm not sure, but the phrasal verb is to be in the context of doing an activity. So if you want to go to a water park or I don't know, you know, the movies or whatever, and you ask your friend like, are you in? We're going to go do this. Are you in? It's like, do you want to do it? There's a lot of ways of expressing this. You can say, are you in? You can also say, are you down? Which sounds like they are the complete opposite, but they're actually the same thing. So you can say, if you're inviting somebody or you're asking if somebody wants to join, you can say, are you in? You can say, are you down? You might know that one. That one's pretty famous. Are you down? You can also say, are you up for it? So we have, as far as I can remember, I think there are at least 3 ways of expressing, like asking if someone is willing to do something or wants to do something or wants to join you or your group in an activity. So you can say, are you in? Are you down? or are you up for it? Are you up for it? Hey, we're going to go to the movies. Are you up for it? Hey, we're going to go to the movies. Are you in? Hey, we're going to go to the movies. Are you down? Hey, I kind of wanted to go to the park. Are you up for it? Personally, I think are you up for it is probably the best one. It's probably the most common, like nice sounding native speaker general one. Like, are you up for it? You up for doing something? You up for it? This one is a classic, and this one is probably the number one version that I recommend for you. But you will hear native speakers say, are you down? Or are you in? This does happen. We do use these sometimes, and you can use them as well. But yeah, are you up for it is probably the best one, but we use them all. So are you in? Are you down? Are you up for it? Confusing, I know, crazy, chaotic. We got about 5 minutes left before I want to kind of round out the video. Well, it's 5 minutes for me. Once I cut this, it's probably going to be less for you. But so because I only got like, I don't know how many that was, like 10 phrasal verbs from these podcast episodes, I was like, I need more than that. So I just went on the good old ChatGPT, the good old AI, and I asked her, like, just drop the paper. Hold on. I asked it to give me some phrasal verbs, maybe less common, but less known by English students. And basically it gave me a list, and I just picked the ones that I liked, and wanted to talk about. So, okay. So, the first one is like, there's like two here. So you might already know to mess up. To mess up, extremely common. It means like to make a mistake. To screw up is another one. But to mess up, I use this all the time. We use this all the time. Like, oh, I messed up. I don't want to mess up. Yeah, it's just like to make a mistake, right? If you speak Spanish, it's like equivocarte. Yeah, it's just a mess up, to mess up. So that's a phrasal verb. But then also you have to mess something up is like to ruin something, or to make a mistake so that it affects something specifically. Like if your hair, if you spend time on making your hairstyle really nice, and then somebody comes and goes like this and messes up your hair, you can go, you messed it up. Why did you mess up my hair? Like why did you mess it up? Like maybe I'm editing this video and I do something that changes it in a way that I don't like, and I can't figure out how to undo it. And I'm like, oh, I messed it up. Like, it's like I ruined it, I like to use the F word. I like to say like, I fucked it up. I fucked up, but you don't have to. You can just say mess it up, mess up. That's like the more universal way of saying it. All right. Next one is to drag something out. Okay. So to drag, the verb to drag is like when I was a kid and I used to walk out in public with my family. Sometimes when I walked, I didn't really pick up my feet very much when I walked. So my stepdad used to say, quit dragging your feet. Stop dragging your feet. Because I didn't pick up my feet very much, sometimes it sounded like I was just dragging my feet, like just kind of pulling my feet along the road or the ground and not really picking them up. Or maybe you have a blanket and you are like dragging it across the floor. So the blanket is on the floor and you're just pulling it and walking with it. So it's being dragged along the floor. You're dragging it across the floor. So this is drag. This is an important verb to know. But then we have the phrasal verb to drag something out. And that is just it's like if you have an event or a thing that you make longer. For example, they dragged out the meeting. So they made the meeting way longer than it needed to be. They dragged it out. They took the meeting and they went like this and they pulled it and made it long. They dragged it out. But yeah, it's just to make something longer. It's to make something longer, not like physically, but like time. To make something longer in time is what I'm saying, like more time. Okay. Next one is to call someone out, which means to confront publicly. She called him out for lying. So yeah, it's just about holding people accountable. This is a good phrase to know. To hold someone accountable. It's like when someone makes a mistake, someone does something bad, and you're like, hey, that's not okay. And you confront them like, you shouldn't do that. That's not okay. You can't do that. That's to hold someone accountable, and then versus just pretending like like it's not my problem, didn't happen, like didn't happen to me, you know. But to call someone out is like the specific action of being like, hey, this person did this thing, and that is not okay, you know. You see this a lot on social media, and you know they like to call out people for doing bad things, celebrities or famous, you know, people with a lot of money or politicians. You know, people love to call politicians out. Like it's just like, yeah, to confront someone publicly, to name someone for doing something bad. Yeah, it's like call them out. Don't be quiet. Call them out. Like it's important to hold people accountable. I firmly believe this myself. Okay, a couple more real quick. Let's see if we can do it. The next one is to back off, which means to stop bothering or give space. I think you should back off a little bit. Sometimes people are bothering or kind of invading the space of other people, and they need to back off. They need to like mind their own business or like stop bothering them, give them space, get away. Like you need to back off. There are some parents who think that because they're parents, they can do and say whatever they want and they can treat their children however they want. And that's just not true. You need to respect them. They are people. And some parents need to back off, honestly. It could be anything, anytime anyone needs to like stop bothering someone and give them space. I don't have a million examples for you, sorry. And I'm trying to go fast here because I don't want my camera to die. Okay. The last one is to mess with someone. So we already said to mess up and to mess something up. But now we have to mess with someone, which is to bother, provoke, or joke with someone. It's kind of like usually in a playful sense, but it could be more serious and you could take it too far and it could be not okay. But it could just be in a very lighthearted, playful way that's not a big deal. I say this a lot, like sometimes if I'm just like giving someone a hard time, this is another way we say it, like just kind of teasing someone, picking on someone, you know, just kind of giving them, like always having an answer and, you know, just being very direct with someone and maybe like, yeah, just being a little difficult with someone, I might, or saying like, kind of making fun of them a little bit in a lighthearted way. I might say like, I'm just messing with you, you know, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, it's kind of just like, it's kind of a way to just clarify that you're not being serious. Stop messing with me. Like he's just messing with you. It's like he's joking. He's not being serious. He's just joking with you. It's not true. Like maybe he says someone or anyone's like tells you something that's not true. Like, oh, I'm pregnant, but I'm not really. And so I say, I'm just messing with you. I'm just really full. My belly is extended because I'm full. You're just playing around. You can say, I'm just messing. He's just messing with you. She's just messing with you. That's it. All right, we got through my list. Yay. I'm going to beat my camera to the punch because my camera, I know she's about to go. She's hot. I'm going to touch her and I'm going to burn my hand. No, not really, but she gets hot. She gets, I got to like put the fan on her. I don't know. Does anybody else film and have like a camera and experience this? I don't know what is the issue, and it's not old at all. And it's a nice camera. I thought the Sony camera. Anyways, thank you for watching to the end. I love you. I really do. I always say that. I don't know why. I don't know why I do. I don't know why I always tell you guys I love you. Because in English, it's like a very lighthearted thing. We say that we love everyone and everything, and it's not a big deal. So anyways, I hope that if you do celebrate holidays, hope you had a great holiday, family time. Hope you enjoy your life. If not, then welcome to the club. You're like me. And yeah, I hope you learn stuff. I hope you tell me what you think about this kind of video, this kind of relaxed way of teaching phrasal verbs, this kind of, very my style. I have something exciting coming up. Well, it's exciting for me. For those of you who really like listening to me talk about my life and random things, I have an interesting thing coming up that I will announce to you guys soon, I think. And yeah, some videos. I'd like to make a video talking about some more like culture shock things in Latin America and just, I don't know, just fun stuff. But if you have any things that you want me to talk about related to like teaching English or anything about my life or literally anything at all, let me know in the comments. As always, appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.